The Titans are at the Packers.
Nah.
Genuinely excited for this game. I'm not going to give it the blah sound. And Tennessee's defense has been really damn good. The Bills are the only team that has scored more than 22 points against the Titans. And in their first 5 games, they were 31st in passing yards per attempt allowed. In their last 4 games, they're 4th. As the competition's gotten a little easier, but not that much easier, they're not giving up as many big plays. And the main thing, I talked about it last week, they don't blitz and they still pressure the quarterback. They have one of the best pass rushes. It's crazy. So we should keep that in mind, and I personally, Dave, don't think we should just consider this a layup matchup for the Packers. And I feel like people probably do. And I've been saying, Tennessee, great matchup. Got to reevaluate a little bit here. What do you think?
I agree. You look at how they've played the last 4 games. They've definitely gotten better on those deep throws that you talk about. A much lower completion rate on those plays. And I kind of want to throw out the Jalen Virgil catch from last week because I just don't think that those breakdowns happen that often. And they're getting healthier. They're going to have, in theory, you mentioned it earlier in the show, Simmons will play, Fulton will play, Hooker will play. They need these additions. They need those guys back. It does make it a little bit tougher on the Packers to do what they want to do. But I think the Packers have a hard time doing what they want to do no matter what the opponent is. Getting a team that can get to Rodgers rushing only 4, that's going to be tough. And by the way, do you know what their pass rush pressure rate was last week without Simmons and without Dupree?
It was the 8th best or something in the league. And
it was 49%.
15 times, yeah.
That's crazy.
Maybe better than eighth best. Yeah, I know. And obviously the line is stunk for Denver, but they're making things difficult. So let's get into the starts and sits here. Is Derrick Henry the only Titan you want to start?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have to spend any time on Hooper or Tannehill as streamers?
I do not want to.
Hooper might get you 9 PPR points. He's been involved a little bit more lately with Tannehill. And the one game where Malik Willis had to throw against Kansas City, he got some work there too.
So let's talk about Aaron Rodgers then. Starter sit? Heath, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I would rather not, but he's going to be in that 10 to 12 range in the rankings. We've got 4 guys that we'd rather start over him on a bye this week. I do think is one of those hit the button games. I mean, it's got an over-under of 41. You've got a Packers team that just always plays slow and a Titans team that would like to run about 17 plays, 16 of them being Derrick Henry runs. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game at all. You're hoping Rodgers hits one of those deep shots to Christian Watson, or it just turns out that the 2 touchdowns they score both happen to be passing touchdowns.
Any hesitation on Aaron Jones?
Not for me.
No hesitation on Aaron Jones. Can I give you a quick Rodgers stat?
Yeah.
When his completion rate is north of 70%, he's 3-0. When it's 66% or lower, he's 1-6. The one win was their overtime win over the Patriots when Bailey Zappi was commanding the Patriots offense. When Rodgers' yards per attempt is 7.0 or higher, he's 3-0. When it's under that, he's 1-6. You know the game that he won. So pretty simple stats to think about, and maybe it's obvious. The Titans do allow a completion rate of 68%. It's pretty close to 70%. I think if Rodgers has a clean game, he will have good enough numbers for fantasy and enough to have Green Bay win.
Okay, Rodgers or Kirk Cousins against the Cowboys?
Cousins.
Same.
Rodgers or Marcus Mariota against the Bears?
Oh, Rodgers.
I have Rodgers a spot higher than Mariota. I know Heath feels a lot differently about Mariota.
Rodgers or Russell Wilson against the Raiders?
I'm not starting Russell Wilson. I mean, he's a more of a desperation play for me at quarterback. I'll take Rodgers.
Yeah, I have them very, very close. I think projections-wise, I have Wilson higher, and ranking-wise, I have Rodgers 1 spot higher, but I think you could flip a coin. They're both guys who have had very bad seasons. Wilson has a much better matchup. Rodgers obviously has been a little bit better lately.
Garoppolo or Rodgers? Last one.
They're close. I have Garoppolo higher.
I'm going to go with Jimmy.
And even though we did this yesterday, well, I'll throw in some more names. Rank Ryan Tannehill with Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, and Taylor Heineke.
all of them over Tannehill.
All right.
Agreed.
Okay. Aaron Jones, you're going to start. A.J. Dillon, you're going to sit. Allen Lazard or Christian Watson? Who do you like better?
I'll take the safety of Lazard over the upside/downside, boom bust nature of Christian Watson.
Yeah, I generally like the boom bust guy, but it was just one game for Watson, so I'm going to go with Lazard over Watson as well. They're both low end number 2s.
It's more than just it being one game. He made a bunch of mistakes in the game. His first 2 routes, he dropped a pass. The first 2 routes he ran, he got targeted. They wanted to get him involved. Rodgers, they desperately need somebody who can attack downfield, and he proved that he can do that. If he can do it again, he's going to change the way defenses play against the Packers and can open things up for everybody else. That's exciting to think about, and that could help Aaron Rodgers quite a bit. But he's got to. He really has to keep proving himself, especially because he makes so many mistakes, slowing down when the ball is coming his way, where if he doesn't slow down, he has another touchdown. The drops that I mentioned, the varied routes. He really only seemed to run like 3 or 4 different routes in the game. But he can separate. He can really fly. He's really tall. He's really big. There is some great upside with him that I'm willing to start him in some situations. But when you line him up against Lazard, I feel like the safer pick is the way to go on Thursday night.
Okay, so let's line him up against some other players. Christian Watson or Darnell Mooney?
Watson has more upside.
Christian Watson or Curtis Samuel?
Watson has more upside.
Watson.
Just because he has more upside doesn't mean you should start him.
It does in these cases.
Watson or Paris Campbell?
Watson.
I'll take Campbell.
Watson or Tyler Boyd?
Boyd.
They are back to back. As of now, I have Watson 1 spot higher than Boyd.
Deebo Samuel or Christian Watson?
I gotta go with
Watson.
Deebo.
Whoa. Wow. Okay.
Watson and PPR. Deebo and none.
All right. And Sid Tunyon?
Yeah, please.
Now, I hope I didn't oversell the Titans defense. I just want to point out how well they're doing lately.
I think it'd be okay if you did, because I think for the entirety of Mike Vrabel's career, we and everybody else have undersold the Titans defense. We always say they're fluky and it's not actually as good as they're not actually as good as their record, and it just turns out he's one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Yeah. They're a low end starting unit. I would take the chance on them if I'm in bye week hell.
I feel like they're going to win.
They're 3-point underdogs, which is shocking.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers can't stop the run. I don't know. It's a good spread.